Hello and welcome to the last tutorial video that shows us how to connect Vue to Firebase. We stopped just before we started to use our Firebase variables that define different functionalities in Firebase into our components. I will remind you that in the end, we created a Firebase JavaScript file inside here. We made it manually. We didn't create a special component for it. That will manage all the elements related to Firebase. Let's be honest. I'll be honest with you that it's much cleaner to do the development like this. I didn't want to do it like this right now. I want to make it much simpler, putting it directly in app view. But if you're already doing it, let's do it right. And making like they did in the tutorial here, it's the good way of doing it. We will use it like this. Now there is a possibility that it may not work because we didn't call it the installation this way. I will explain it later. Let's try and see if it works. We forgot to put this, and it still surprises me that it's working. Probably it wouldn't work because we didn't put a call to VueFire. Okay, but we have to call VueFire to execute, to initialize VueFire as a global element. It has to be done right here before the new part here. After this, let's put it the same way, in the same order. First Firebase, Vue, and we have to import, of course, VueFire in our app. Sorry, it's not copying right. Here we go. So finally, we should be having everything in place. No errors. Well, yeah. So the reason it's not working, it's because we didn't call the install this way. We did it the way they show us in here. npm Firebase VueFire. Probably because we did it this way, these last two parts are unneeded. Let's check it without this. If it works, great. If it doesn't, we know why. Okay. So let's try, for example, this example here. It's not so bad because what it does, it's called the database service, and it asks for the users and it prints outside the user's result. Okay, so let's go to our component, for example, the intro component GS, and let's go to we have to go inside the script side, which is this one. And before the export default, let's import up here, because before always the import side always goes above the export default, which is exporting the component out to this option. I didn't stop to explain a bit about this. What it does, it exports the intro component as a component, so we can use it everywhere in our Vue app. So it's very important to have this line here. In the future, we will show you how to create multiple kind of exports. For now, it says as default. Let's leave it as default. Now, the only difference is that instead of putting Firebase, it's gonna be components /Firebase. It is possible that it's not going to work for a simple reason, because we are located differently. That's one of the problems with using files inside our own files to import and export. We have to navigate and root ourselves inside the structure of the file system. So if we are here, we have to go 2 points down. We have to go backwards in the tree to the component level and then go inside Firebase. 2 points like this and like this. And now it shouldn't show any. Well, it's showing. No, wait. It said that it's defined but never used. It's defined but never used. We're now gonna use it. This is a warning. Now, the reason why warnings are becoming errors is because we are using slint, okay, which is a very strict, very powerful syntax analyzer. If you want to disable it, you can do it. I don't recommend it because eventually it's a very powerful element and we're not going to we want to keep our code clean. So I'm going to copy the Firebase section. As you can see, there is a new section we can add to our view. This is good because it means that they are they are creating special sections to manage all the Firebase calls, and it's always good to see such a thing. When I worked with Vue last time, it wasn't this way, and he's saying that they didn't expect it. Console error stuff. We will see why it's like this. Don't worry. And as you can see, what it's really doing, because the template side is the HTML, what it's doing is asking for all the users in the database structure. We'll see how it's later on, how we structure the database, and it's asking for all the users and to print each of the users' names. Okay, now the users are a branch in the real-time database, not in the authentication section. There is a bit of a difference. You shouldn't worry about it. We will later on work on it. Now, the reason that it's showing this problem is that the unexpected console statement probably doesn't allow ESLint doesn't allow to use console. So you know what? If you don't want headaches, now it's saying that is defined but never used. So again, if you don't want headaches, you can disable ESLint, because it's really playing around with my mind here. Let's try to, you see, it said that you can disable disable ESLint to ignore all. Okay, let's use disable ESLint, as they say here, to ignore all these sections. Sorry. Okay. No. Great. Now it's saying that I have to use to ignore the next line. You need to ignore all warnings in a file. So let's disable ESLint in this file. Okay, to do that, you just can put it up here, disable ESLint, and it won't send, it shouldn't show any kind of problem anymore. Okay, again, and let's see if finally it doesn't show me those errors, which are, the errors are because it's very strict. It will work, okay? It's just that it's very, very strict, okay? I don't know where there we go. So, well, we have a lot of stuff here. And I didn't really copy the template section here to the HTML. Remember, if you see something inside the template, it's always the HTML section, okay? Let's clean a bit everything here, because I don't want to show everything here. Let's clean the web page, and let's put this here. It won't show anything, okay, because there's no users in the database, but at least we'll see this, the message up here, and for now it's loading the system. Now, to finish this example, they show us here. I'm not sure if they decide also to add the elements modifying the data. Or, I mean, they just, we have to create a branch in the database called users, in which the users themselves have a section called name, okay? It's an array, I think. We'll create in our database, as I mentioned before, which truly we don't have to use, we shouldn't use real-time database, but for this example precisely, we will use it only for the example. I really don't recommend, because database secure rules for closed file. It doesn't really allow me. It's not allowing me anymore. This, okay, so you should start always on test mode. Allow read and write for everyone. Okay, we're not going to restrict about the great. I don't know what. Well, I chose the US central location. You should choose your location appropriately. It will create the Firestore call, but the problem we have is that we're not using Firestore here. I mean, we are connecting to a Firebase, that real-time database. This example is a bit old. We will change the Firebase here. We will take out the database and we'll create export constant Firestore, fs Firestore will be equal to Firebase app dot Firestore, and here we go. Okay, so now we have access to Firestore. Okay, now the following, in theory, with this we finish the configuration of our Vue app to communicate with Firestore. In the following tutorial, I will start developing the Firestore and the authentication section, so it starts communicating with the Firebase, and finally see an end-to-end solution. So see you next time.